Yo, what's good guys, it's Blake, and today I'm going to show you guys how to cook up some fire, bouncy, swaggy drums, because recently I've been making a lot of melody videos, so I thought I would switch it up with this one and just focus on the drums. And with this beat, I just took a sample from my boy Odyssey. He's the most fire sample maker that I know. I'll put his YouTube link in the description so you guys can go cop his samples too. But yeah, let's get right into it. Alright, yo, so first I'm going to play a snippet of the finished beat, and then I'll get into the breakdown.
Blake the Great.
Alright, so first things first for my advice on the 808s. So for your 808s, my favorite 808 to use, it's a version of the Spins 808. It's called 808, only used in the studio with Thug. It's in the Wheezy lunch kit, and if you don't have any lunch kits, I highly advise you get them, because there's a lunch kit for like all producers. There's a Mexico Dro, Pierre, Metro, like they have it all. But so for this specific one, I used the 808 only used with Thug 4. And what I did to the 808, I did some shaping. I pulled the out knob up about halfway, as well as the length, because I wanted the 808 to be short and punchy. And I also clicked this little button right here, and I pushed up the boost knob, because if you really want your 808s to hit, there's really no other secret other than this right here. If you're in FL Studio, is you push up this boost knob, because it was originally right here. It's a lot skinnier, and if you push it up, it makes it just more fat, and it just hits. Make sure you always have the soft clipper on your master, so the 808 can hit as hard as it can without it clipping. For the pattern, because I made the hi-hats and other percussion go pretty crazy on the bounce, I wanted to leave the 808 pretty simple, and as you can see, it's just the normal Wheezy type of bounce. Here's the 808. This pattern does seem a little boring, but once you see it ride off with all the other drum sounds, you'll see how it makes sense. I also want to emphasize being a little more simplistic with your drum patterns, because when a rapper wants to rap on a beat, it can't be going too crazy. There can't be 808s going here and here and here. And like, maybe it could sound like a hard beat, but no rapper wants to hop on a beat that they can't flow on. And that's why you got to create these pockets and these flows for the rapper to be able to spit on. Now onto the hi-hat. As you can see right here, the hi-hat is a little bit off from the grid, and that's because I went up to this button right here and I changed the grid from just a regular cell to the 1/3 beat, and as you can see now, the notes are in line. And what this triplet bounce does is it just gives you a whole new rhythm to lay out your hi-hats with. And personally, whenever I hear a beat with some hi-hat with some triplet rolls, I just think the beat, it just elevates the beat on a whole nother level. But you can't be cheesy with it, because some triplet hi-hat beats can get a little cheesy and it just gets overdone. So you really need to pick your spots with where you put your rolls. And as you can see here, I lowered the velocity for this roll right here, as well as for this one. And for this roll, I went to the 1/6 beat, so it's still following that triplet type bounce, but it just has a faster roll. Here you'll see what I'm talking about again with creating pockets for your rappers to spit on. Although the hi-hats are different, and because of the triplet bounce, I didn't want to go too crazy adding so many hi-hats, so many rolls, because like just this little roll right here, that could spark a whole flow for a rapper. And especially when you mess with the velocities a little bit, it just makes it so bouncy, so you don't need like so many hi-hat rolls. You can just keep it simple so your rapper can have more room to flow on. Now here's a reverse hi-hat that I added, and I'm going to play it in context with the other hi-hats so you can get a feel of what it sounds like together. How you reverse your sounds is you go into the sound and you just press that reverse button and it flips the sound over for you. Next, here's the open hat pattern. For the shape of the open hat, I wanted to pull the out knob up just to make the open hat more short and crispy. Next, here's a rim shot. And lastly, here's a perk. Making sure that each one of your sounds serves their own purpose is really important. You don't want any scattered sounds that just don't make any sense. So for this beat, I have 7 drum sounds, and they all are pretty simple patterns, as you see. I mean, this is just playing 2 notes in the whole thing. This is just a little simple right here. The hi-hats look pretty simple, but here is what all the drums sound like together. As you can see, the drums sound a lot more complex than they sounded when I was actually breaking the beat down. And that just goes to show you can be simple with your patterns, but you just have to pick your spots wisely with your sounds, not have any sounds scattered about the beat that make no sense. A lot of these are just pretty simple patterns, but they each sound really serves a purpose, and it all adds to the bounce as a whole. Mixing wise on the drums, I really leave most of them just with no effects. I just level them out. For the 808, how I made it punch really hard is pushing the boost knob and shaping it the way I did, and that just makes it hit really hard. And with the hi-hats, I mean, I just level them by ear. It really depends on which hi-hat I'm using. I usually leave the clap all the way up because most claps I use are processed in the way to where they're not too loud, not too quiet. The open hat, I brought it down a little bit. The perks are leveled out all by ear. Really, a lot of what mixing is over time, what I've learned is it's really just experience. It's really that simple. Like, I literally have no effects, but the mix sounds pretty clean, and all the drums are hitting. You just have to use quality sounding drum one-shots, and you'll really be good to go. For effects on the melody, I took out most of the low end with the EQ to make room for the 808. I added a little bit of delay, added some reverb, and then I used this compressor just to push up the gain a little bit. And yeah, that is really it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Like the great?
Just my type, girl. Still just like yours. I've been feeling the vibes, you been feeling the vibes all the time, on my mind, yeah. Just my type, girl, yeah. Still just like yours, no.